My specific model of the PlayStation 3 is the PlayStation 3 Slim. It's definitely thinner than the previous generation, but not as thin as the newer model, the PlayStation 3 Super Slim. The idea of this review is to see if it's worth it to buy the PlayStation 4. Overall, the design isn't that bad, with a nice matte black finish and a sleek looking and understated PS3 logo on the top. Around the bottom, you'll be getting 2 USB ports, which I often find isn't enough. I'd like to point out here that the drive is a slot-taking drive, and therefore it's a lot nicer than the newer optical drive in the PlayStation 3 Super Slim. Compared to the newer PS3, it's simply a pleasure to put in and take out discs. The PS3 uses an XMB or cross interface, which is used in many Sony TVs. In fact, the PS4 interface is also an updated version of this very interface. Gaming console isn't a console without its proper hardware. This is the DualShock 3, the PlayStation 3's controller, and many people agree that the DualShock 4 is a major improvement. Personally, it's just not for me. The Xbox 360 controller is just much better designed. From the domed analog sticks to the not very great triggers, they're not very great, to the plasticky feel of it all, with seams running across the device. It just doesn't feel very professional and something made by a high-end company like Sony. I'd highly recommend getting another controller. But usually these controllers, unless they're from Sony, must use a USB dongle. And if you lose that, you just wasted $20. The PS3 also comes with some other controllers. Well, it doesn't come with it, but you can buy a bundle. The PlayStation Move and the PlayStation Navigation controller. Usually, you just use the PlayStation Move controller by itself, like, oh wait, Expelliarmus and wizardy stuff, Harry Potter! See? It works great as a Wii controller, and in fact, it looks a lot nicer too, considering you have this squishy little ball that glows depending on which game you're playing or which activity you're doing. It also has all 4 action buttons, the PlayStation button, and a main PlayStation Move button, they call it, which functions a lot like the X button. Now, of course, some games that use PlayStation Move do need an analog stick. That's where the navigation controller comes in. It has an analog stick, 2 action buttons, a D-pad, and the PlayStation button. So, in fact, you don't even really need the controller, except for the second analog stick. So, these aren't going to be great for, like, first-person shooters, but they're definitely fun to use. There's one last piece. This is the PlayStation Eye camera. The camera doesn't have great quality. In fact, it's quite terrible. It's okay for PlayStation video chats, but I don't really use it as that. In fact, here's a quick tip. If you have a PSP and a PS3, you can use your PSP to remote play. Well, start a video call with yourself on the PS3 and then remote play with your PSP. You can track your room from wherever you are in the house. It's actually pretty nice. But the video quality is definitely nothing special. The cable is also horrendously long. For something that's going to be pretty close to your console, I don't think this big of a cable is that much of a problem. My biggest issue with it is definitely the ferrite bead. This thing makes it almost impossible to get it through a little TV stand and get it to the top. It definitely is counterproductive, although I guess it needs to be there. If you're just getting a console for a first-time gamer, the PlayStation 3 looks like a great option. It's cheaper than the PS4, and it still has great games. Way more games than the PS4 has right now. They're all great. It plays some games in 1080p HD. To be honest, it's a great console right now. And if you don't need all those next-gen games, and you don't really need to be able to play this for long, as in this is for a first-time console player, the PS3 is a great buy for the price. I'll put a link to Amazon in the description and a few other places where you can get it for pretty cheap. If you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more tech videos. I'm Owen, this is Maximum Tech, and thanks for watching.